Roseville is growing fast. New neighborhoods, shopping centers, and more families moving in year after year. That comes with traffic, construction, and questions. Can the city keep up? Well, we took those concerns to the people leading Roseville through this moment.
Each part of our community is a little bit different. We have parts of our city that are 80, 100 years old.
Krista Bernasconi, Roseville's mayor, has also served as vice mayor and on the city's planning commission, and says balancing old and new parts of the city is a constant challenge.
We're balancing this side of our town, our western border, with more homes, schools. It's a constant balancing act.
That balance is something city manager Dominic Casey says has been in the works for a long time. What do you want residents to understand about the growth decisions that are made, especially when it comes to the long-term planning that is a part of this city?
While this development may seem new, it's been planned for decades. How much power we need, how much water we need, the infrastructure for roads, housing balance, all of this has been planned.
Casey says every major project is reviewed to make sure that growth doesn't outpace resources.
We look at every development to make sure that we have adequate fiscal sustainability so we can provide police and fire, and we don't draw down on those public services that people love about being in Roseville so much.
Casey oversees projects like Baseline Marketplace, a new shopping center on Baseline and Fittyment roads.
Baseline Marketplace is one of those that have been in the works for over a decade. It's not just the sales tax and the property tax, but really it's the quality of life.
City leaders say part of that quality of life equation includes traffic, one of the most common complaints they hear.
We hear about traffic, but why this development will help is now all those folks who live really west of Fittyment Road will no longer have to drive to Costco down by Galleria. It also help reduce traffic congestion in the rest of the city.
Mayor Bernasconi adds that developments like this will help generate future funding for the city's needs.
So we make sure that development pays its own way. We've got the power, we've got road improvements that are happening. We make sure that there's fire department, that they have a police beat, that there are schools available. So it's a well-balanced approach.
And what does success really look like 5 or 10 years later when we're talking like a Baseline Marketplace project? What does success look like?
Success, to me, a baseline of our community is always that we're safe and that we're healthy. That at build out, this center brings tax revenue to our city that helps pay the bills for our city, our police, our fire, our parks. Hopefully it attracts more businesses and more residents to come to our city.
But city leaders acknowledge growth doesn't happen overnight, and neither do all the fixes.
There is some downtime and with that growth, and there's a little bit of growing pains, but it's not from a lack of planning. Growth is truly paying its own way.
When it comes to construction, the mayor says,
that's kind of the most painful part, is that we want for these improvements to be made, but it's a sticky process when we're closing down a lane.
As the city grows, so does the need for public safety, but both leaders say staffing hasn't fallen behind.
Our police department is staffed, that we do not have a recruitment problem. I'm not hearing about specific issues in this part of town.
We're meeting our response times as part of our general plan.
The city recently built Fire Station 8 and is adding another police beat. Steps leaders say are meant to keep response times steady as the population grows. The Placer County Sheriff's Office also opened a new station to improve response times and walk-in services such as records request, crime reporting, and civil filings. And while West Roseville is developing quickly, city officials say the goal remains the same: maintaining services, safety, and quality of life for both longtime residents and those just arriving.
We want to make sure that areas like Douglas and Sunrise or along Atlantic or Harding, they're safe, that there's desirable retail there. And so making sure that that part of our city is just as important as, the newer development.